evangelism call, which I think leaders can learn a lot from. Craig's enthusiasm for Alpha should not dampen the power of the transferable principles he's learned, whether you choose to run Alpha or not. I am encouraging you then, dear listener, not simply to take benefit from Barna's research and Craig's applications, but to also consider how to become a student of culture and a learner yourself. How could you come to apply rigor, research, self-evaluation, and the sacred art of listening to others whom you're trying to reach? These habits are themselves an important way to revive evangelism. When I worked on the book Unchristian, which showed the brutal reality of the negative perceptions of young non-Christians towards Christianity, the world as it is, I found that many Christians resisted the findings. They critiqued the methodology. They criticized the non-Christians. Their minds are blinded by Satan, right? How could they even know what to think? They said my co-author, Gabe Lyons, and I were off our rockers. Sure, the research has limitations, as all research does, and the authors were imperfect messengers. Still, the critics did almost everything but listen to and learn to really hear what young people were saying about the church and what that might mean for a faithful way forward. Yet, to revive evangelism in our time, to help people truly be set free in Jesus, we need to be learners and listeners. The pages of Scripture are filled with the lofty aspiration that we should have ears to hear and eyes to see. Barna's work and Craig's insights strongly suggest new approaches to evangelism and discipleship are needed. This particular book is a helpful and practical playbook to a new way of evangelism, deeply rooted in the ancient truths of Scripture for our oncoming era. Let those who have ears listen. David Kinnaman is president of the Barna Group, author of You Lost Me, Good Faith, and Faith for Exiles, and co-author of Unchristian. He lives in Ventura, California. Chapter 0. It's not working anymore. What do ugly Christmas sweaters, bacon-wrapped dates, the next Star Wars movie, smoked ribs, meatless Impossible burgers, new hairdos, and Taylor Swift's new song all have in common? I saw these images during 6 seconds of scrolling through Instagram this morning. That's what people are sharing. From the popular to the unbelievable. From what moves us to what amazes us. We share what we love and experience, or whatever public dumpster fire seems to be burning at the moment. It's hardwired into our DNA to want to share with others. Many of us can't even refrain from spilling the movie spoilers. I'm guessing you've heard a preacher, or 3, or 13, use this analogy when it comes to sharing our faith. We love Jesus. He's changed our lives. So, just like we tell people about that Wagyu beef burger, new romantic friend, or our favorite kale salad surprise, well, maybe not that one, so too should we share about Jesus. And why wouldn't we want to share about Jesus? This person who's changed everything for us? Why wouldn't we talk to others about the Christian faith, the foundation we've dedicated ourselves to learning more about, the movement that transformed our lives? But overwhelmingly, we're simply not sharing our faith anymore. It's the one area where this impulse to talk about the good stuff seems to be fading, and fast. In the U.S. especially, the instinct to evangelize is eroding. No matter how much our walk with Jesus has impacted our lives, many of us simply aren't talking about it. Not to our families, not to our friends, and not within our communities. The data shows this on a number of levels, and the conclusive nature of the findings should be setting off alarm bells everywhere. Sharing my faith is wrong. 47% of millennial Christians believe sharing their faith with others is wrong. Let that sink in. That's nearly 1/2 of all young Christians from their early 20s to late 30s, nearly 2 decades worth of believers who think sharing their faith is fundamentally wrong. They're not saying it's undesirable. They're not saying it's too difficult, or that they're not sure what words to use to communicate their faith to others. They're actually saying they believe it's wrong to share their faith. How can we pass on the baton of faithfulness and fulfill the Great Commission?